All right. Here we go. Here we go. What up? What up? Oh, snap. What's up? What's up? My friends, my family, my fellow gamers. The levels is good. The sounds is good. What up? What up? It's been a minute, right? Gonna talk about this stuff. How's everything looking? Y'all can hear me. Everything's good. Everything's set up. I know it's been like a little over a week since I went live. Alright, cool. That's what's up. That's what's up. Alright. Y'all the first ones up in here. Appreciate it. Really appreciate y'all rocking out. I promise I'm gonna get everything up and going, up and running. Keep everything consistent. It's just been really busy time at work. I've been come home like around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. And that's way too late to start a podcast and stuff like that. Right? So yeah, work's been crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna do my thing. You know, I'm off today. But if you don't mind, hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. Retweet this out on Twitter. Put it on your Facebook, Snapchat, wherever your gaming groups. Let people know to come rock out. You know what I'm saying? Because we're about to preach some truth. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on some of the stuff that's been going on. Things I'm a little bit behind, but just to give you my view. But I truly appreciate you guys rocking out on this stuff. Let me make sure my info's right. All right. So what's up? How's everybody doing, man? How's everybody doing in the chat? What y'all been up to? I know you guys been gaming, because those are the people that come to my channel. Dudes that game more than talk. Right. Returnal, yeah, I'm copping it. I'm definitely copping it. I like the fact that House Marquee is stepping up their game, because you know usually they would do the top down indies and stuff like that. But another really small indie titles, they really stepping up, and I hope they grow into a bigger developer, bigger AAA studios, and that's what you want, So that's cool. I'm definitely gonna get that game and check it out. It's been podcast heavy all day, man. You getting wore out? Well, hopefully this podcast preaches the information. 'Cause you know what I'm saying? I come out with my sermon. What's up, Lieutenant James? Sorry I haven't been around. It's like I said, my work is the priority. That's why again, I don't do things like Patreon or membership programs or anything like that. Because at any given time, the content on the channel could slow down by a lot. Because my work takes precedence, and that's just how it is, So I just keep it the way it is, because I truly understand how things level out. But when I do come back, I come back with fire. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of podcasters on the weekend, so I hope you guys don't have podcast fatigue. But I'm definitely going to try to push the points that I think a lot of people don't make. Maybe some do, maybe some don't. We'll see how it goes, But in the meantime, what you guys do... Oh, snap, Jose. What's going on, brother? I need to get you on a podcast once I start kicking it off. Really want you on there. So we had those good conversations. I'm going to invite a lot of people this year. This year, we're going to go back to a lot of guests. I know I haven't done that much in 2020. But 2021, we're going to kick off with a lot of guests up in here. Guests who are willing to come, Some guests, they stick to podcasts that are hive-minded or like-minded. Because they don't want to be in a podcast that will challenge their viewpoints and stuff like that. Not saying that my podcast is about being aggressive, but regardless of your PlayStation or PC or Xbox, the Ruham, I would love for you to come, rock out. Definitely, man. Definitely would like to see you up in here and give your thoughts live. You've been around for a minute. Definitely, right? Stuart Stokes. I'm hearing behind the scenes Xbox is going to try the 120 Xbox Live again, but paywall paywall Phil Spencer OnlyFans account. So Phil about to have that OnlyFans. That's what you saying? Phil Phil about to have that OnlyFans. Yo, I wouldn't be surprised if more of those dudes watches OnlyFans than game. The way things are going. Phil about to have that OnlyFans account. Oh snap. Oh man, that's crazy. That's pretty funny. But yeah, but make sure you hit the like button. Hook it up, and we'll go into these topics. And don't forget to retweet this out. That would truly appreciate it. It'll help it out, and we'll get started rolling. Right. So where we're gonna start about? We're gonna talk about Naughty Dog's next PS5 exclusive. So let me give the visual aid real quick. Here we go. I think it's this one. Give me a second. So we could really flesh this out. So this image right here. So this image right here came from a concept artist that works for Naughty Dog. He has a Instagram page that, you know, he has a lot of concept, right? But in this image, he put in an Instagram account, he tagged it with hashtag PlayStation 5, hashtag new. So people are wondering, is he giving subliminals? Is this something that we can expect? Is this the type of world we can expect from Naughty Dog? Are they trying to tackle a medieval type era, sword combat, what type of things? So I got some word from a developer, right? A cool dude. I'm not gonna name him and stuff like that, so nobody. But he did tell me that Naughty Dog started posting jobs years ago that hinted at a medieval fantasy setting RPG. As for people experienced in close combat, sword mechanics, RPG mechanics, and branching open world narratives. Could have been just exploring ideas, but they did hire talents from BioWare, CD Projekt Red, and Bethesda over the last 3 years. So this developer was telling me, saying, you know, and he is a developer because I confirmed it from him, you know. So he just knows friends. So he knows friends that used to work with CD Projekt Red, BioWare, and stuff. They're now working at Naughty Dog. So obviously we wouldn't know that, you know, because I think in PlayStation Nation, you know, PlayStation gamers, we don't track every single person that leaves or comes and goes. I think we know the community that does that, right? Because it's a big deal. You know, one person leaves, it changes the landscape, right? So they're all about that. We pretty much just let the industry do what the industry does. But apparently, Naughty Dog has lots of melee animators, open world animators, RPG, you know, developer, things like that. You know, all those people that involves an experience with RPGs and its mechanics and gameplay style. They are working with Naughty Dog, and they have been there for over the last 3 years. So that's gonna be awesome, I think, if Naughty Dog tackles the RPG genre with a melee fantasy setting, and I could see that just on the merit of many of these fantasy RPG games are very successful when you look at it, right? I think a good portion of RPGs are great when it comes to fantasy. So looking at The Witcher, you know, and stuff like that. Even technically Dark Souls and Demon Souls and all that. That's like a fantasy setting, medieval style with sword combat. Very popular. And I think Naughty Dog sees that. I think Naughty Dog sees that the genre of RPGs that tackle medieval settings are inherently a very popular genre within itself. It just needs to be a good game, something exciting. So I can see with the how would you say, the popularity and Naughty Dog pretty much among gamers as a household name. Everybody looks at Naughty Dog as a top tier developer and one of the best out there. Their animations are amazing, right? So they really know how to animate. Their storytelling, top notch. You know, them diving into a genre that's inherently pretty successful in of its own, which is the RPG medieval genre, combined with Naughty Dog's talent in developing games, animation, storytelling, creating characters that is just off the hook. They could have a huge success that they could easily, within the genre itself, rival The Witcher. It's potential, you know. As far as the developer goes, Naughty Dog's top notch, and that's just how it is. They earn their right to be considered one of the best developers in the industry, right? Because of how many games that's under their portfolio, going all the way back to Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, then Uncharted, now The Last of Us. If they come out with an open world game medieval settings, right? Quality, right? That can rival The Witcher, that can rival Skyrim and stuff like that. My God, that I think at that point there will be none better, right? Because at that point they tackle so many genres and different games, you know, from platformers, adventures, and all that. It's just be insane. So I can see this potentially happening. You know, there's keywords like Viking, so it might be Viking mythology. You know, kind of like Skyrim. You know, very northern stuff, which will probably be interesting settings. Would be really cool to see that. I would really love Naughty Dog to really go there. You know, maybe Norse mythology, include gods. You know, of course it's gonna have magic. You can see a dragon there, so of course dragon's gonna be part of it if this is it. So we gotta see where it can go. You know, it could be just totally off, right? It could have just been just a drawing that gone nowhere. It is what it is. But I would, Naughty Dog making an RPG, I would like to see that. I'll be honest. I would like to see that. And again, it's because their storytelling is so good. So I will be interested in not just the main story of the game, but how they handle side quests. Because that's really the bread and butter of RPG. Right? Because that's what really extends the gameplay. That's what really makes an RPG that's only 50, 60, 70 hours into a 200-hour event. It's all the branches of the side quests that you can do. And I would love to see how Naughty Dog handles that. If it's exclusive to the PS5 and they can focus only on the PS5s, I would love to see how they just make a nice, smooth world that instantly streams. Just, you know, you just go everywhere. Everything's all uniform, you know. Just the gameplay design. Would really love to see and notice how they handle that. Be interesting, right? Be pretty cool, right? But since on the topic of Naughty Dog, let's really talk about this. This really caught my eye. Really caught my eye. And again, I gotta give you the visual aid, right? Because visual aids work. And it's this right here. Boom. Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann would like to make a Punisher or Ghost Rider game. Right? Angel, hey Porter, can you Google Space Movie 1992 for me? Remind me towards the end of the podcast, alright? Angel, pretty interesting to see what you're talking about with that one. But so Neil Druckmann wants to make a Punisher or Ghost Rider game. Okay? Now here's what's interesting. I don't know the context of the interview. Bob Pound says, Portak, this isn't art for a Naughty Dog game. It was proven fake. So I didn't say it was art for a Naughty game. I said that this picture is from one of the artists for Naughty Dog, but I don't know if it's tied to a game. He has his Instagram account. And if you go to his Instagram account, he has his picture and he works for Naughty Dog. He's an artist, concept artist, and he draws them. So that's how I found this image. I didn't go look at it. This image that I cropped off is actually from his Instagram. And he put in hashtags PlayStation, hashtag new. So this is what I'm getting directly from the guy who directly works and does the artistry for Naughty Dog. So this is from Instagram. I don't know if I don't know what it is. Now I don't think he works. He doesn't work for Ubisoft though. The guy, well, he doesn't work for Ubisoft. So I'll tell you right now. If you go to my Twitter, I'll post it in the chat. Give me a second. So let me post a link in the chat to my tweet. Give me a second, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you can see. Give me a second. I'll post in the chat right now what I'm talking about. Because I tweeted it out and I said, hey, this image comes from, the source of the image is from here. And it ain't from Ubisoft. I'll just show you the tweet. I'll put it in the chat and you can see the guy's Instagram account and he works for Naughty Dog. Where is it at? Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm going through my Twitter timeline. Okay, here it is. Let me see if I could copy a link. Let me see if I could get some. What? No. That's not what I want to do. What's the share thing? Give me a second. I'll post it in the chat so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, here you go. Copy link to tweet. I'm gonna post it in the chat, and then you can see my tweet, and you can see because in the chat, I mean in Twitter, I screen capped the whole image. There you go. Man, there you go. So that's the tweet right there. And let me read the hashtag. So on the hashtag, he wrote hashtag Viking, hashtag Viking style, hashtag Viking girl, hashtag gamers, hashtag PlayStation, hashtag video games, hashtag character illustration, hashtag painting, hashtag character design, hashtag instart, hashtag concept art, hashtag dragon art, hashtag illustration artist, hashtag fantasy illustration, hashtag fantasy art, hashtag medieval, hashtag creature design. And the guy's name is Yang Nam. And he's a concept artist for Naughty Dog. So you'll see it once you look at my tweet. If you click on the link to the tweet, you'll see that's how it is. So I'm just going off that. Unless he, you know, that's what I'm going off of. So, so I think that's where everybody's making assumptions of Naughty Dog game. I'm not going to say it's a Naughty Dog game. I just want to talk about the topic because I seen it as a conversation. So I just want to post the source of that image. I know some people reposted the source of the image and they put their own spin of where they got the image from. I'm just showing you guys that is where the image came from. It came from his Instagram account. And he works for Naughty Dog, but I didn't say that's necessarily... Again, I'm not saying that is a Naughty Dog game. But I'm just talking about giving my opinion on it. Would I like Naughty Dog to come do a RPG? Yes, I would love to see them tackle that. Just to see what they can do with that. And I think they do it great. But that's just what it is. Okay. So with that, next topic, yeah, the Punisher game. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. So Phil Spencer, that's no. Neil Druckmann in an interview talked about he would like to do a Punisher Ghost Rider game. It's pretty interesting because I didn't see the interview, or I read it, but it's hard to understand the concept of an interview. And what I mean by that is this. He's now the co-president of Naughty Dog, right? So he has a lot of pull now. And he probably always had the pull, which is probably why he got promoted, to make the games he wants, in the direction he wants, for the development studios. Now that he's the co-president of it, he probably has a lot more ties and a lot more decision-making power within the studio, such as the budget. He's probably more involved in the hiring process and the talents, and he probably has a lot more responsibilities and a lot more weight in what to do. With the success of Spider-Man, and there's no doubt, even to this day right now, Spider-Man is for Insomniac is possibly the most successful superhero game out there, right? For single player stuff like that, right? More successful than the Arkham series, sold more than any of the Arkham games. It's not just the most successful Spider-Man, it's the most successful superhero game, period. That carries a lot of weight, you know, especially I would assume with Marvel games / Disney. Seeing something just grow so big, and Insomniac so talented, they created an amazing game. I said that despite Spider-Man being exclusive to PlayStation, it will be played more by gamers than any Spider-Man game before it. Because the majority are not going to care about this console war shit, or they're not going to care about, you know, I only stick to one platform. They're not going to care. They're going to see Spider-Man. And if you want to play Spider-Man, you're going to play Spider-Man. Buying a console is irrelevant to them, right? Especially if you could get a PlayStation for like $200. They're not going to care. It's not that serious to avoid a game you really want to play, especially when it's phenomenal, right? So Spider-Man, again, not only did it end up being the highest selling Spider-Man, the most played Spider-Man, it ended up being the highest selling superhero game of all time. It's 2 a.m. Oh, it's 2 a.m. for you? Oh, you're in Europe? It ain't 2 a.m. for me. It's 5 p.m. So those days are over. Sorry, brother. Believe me, I feel for you in Europe. Trust me, I do feel for you guys. So with that, you got Naughty Dog, right? Their reputation precedes themselves. We just talked about that a few minutes ago. Amazing reputation. Game of the year. These guys make gold, right? I mean, look at The Last of Us 2. Winning awards across the spectrum. Even Gamers' Choice Awards. When everybody was talking about, oh, every gamer hates this, every gamer's trading the back end, right? Once time passed on and moved on, all the trolls, right? Especially the ones that don't even play games, but they want to put their input because, you know, they feel, you know, I guess that's the only way they feel accomplishment in their life, that they got to be part of something even though they don't really play the games. Once those guys, you know, in the beginning, all those guys make it a purpose to try to destroy and discredit, you know, The Last of Us 2, right? But it only takes a little bit of time to make them relevant because they're not going to sustain that energy for months. They're just not. They're just going to go, make their videos, cloud chase, tap into the fake outrage and stuff like that so they could be part of it. But then once the topic dies off, then they just disappear. What you have left is the real gamers that truly critique the game, that truly enjoy the games, that truly are part of, you know, the review process and stuff. And once you got that group, the guys who actually stick around for the long term, you see the true view of the game. And like, The Last of Us winning, you know, Reviewers' Choice Awards or a Critics' Choice Award, you know, the Gamers' Choice, and it destroyed every other game. I think the Metacritic Gamers' Choice of the year, Last of Us 2 blew out every other game, blew it out. But that's because you had the genuine people who are genuine. They're actually, you know, subscribe to Metacritic. They didn't subscribe that day just to zero bomb The Last of Us 2. Those guys are the ones that's been around. Those are the gamers that actually review it. And it's crazy. My man Terry Henderson, 104 folks here, only 42 likes. Shout out to, yeah. Hit the like button, man. It's just a simple, you know, hit of the thumbstick, right? I mean, the thumbing, right? Hook a brother up. Okay? And don't forget to, if you can, retweet this link out to get more people in the conversation, right? So why am I saying all this? I think Sony, at least from my perception, has the eyes and ears of Disney. Because they're even more successful than Square Enix Avengers. Avengers, they didn't do too well, right? Okay? Spider-Man clearly is successful. It's just absolutely successful. And I think Disney and Marvel can see that, right? If the co-president of Naughty Dog, now this is context, if he really, really wants a Punisher game, or he really, really wants a Ghost Rider game, he's in the position to say, hey, talks to Sony corporate and be like, hey, we need to have a conversation with Marvel, right? Unless Marvel already is in talks with somebody else for a Punisher or Ghost Rider game, if those games and IPs are out and open, I think he's in a position to start the conversation, right? Get with, you know, PlayStation Jim Ryan and be like, hey, Jim, hey, what's going on? You know, what's going on? You know, I really do want to make a Punisher or Ghost Rider game. Can we sit down and see if we can have a conversation and see what their thoughts on it? And then they just have a conversation, whether it's over video chat, whatever, you know, with COVID restrictions. And they could just sit down with Marvel Games and be like, hey, we want a Punisher or Ghost Rider game. What are your thoughts? What do you guys have? You know, is this possible? And they could be like, no, because they're already in talks with somebody. So those games are already out of the table. Or they could be like, you know what? We really don't have any plans for these games at this time. Pitch some ideas. And we'll see what we're doing, right? And, you know, it could potentially be like, all right, let me pitch some ideas. So pitch some concept arts, the direction he wants to go for Punisher Ghost Rider. And if it's a great concept, Marvel Games could be like, you know what? We really didn't have anything, but you guys are already showing the initiative and ready to do something. Yeah, let's make this happen. Let's build up on this universe. Let's build up the portfolio. Let's build up that, you know? I don't think Disney's going to have a problem with, well, we're trying to bring balance to the industry, so we don't want Sony to have too many IPs or stuff, because I don't think they care about that. I think ultimately they want their IPs to be big blockbuster successes, and whoever can do it, they're going to do it. And that's the direction they go. At least I would think that's their vision, right? So if Sony could take a Ghost Rider IP, you know, specifically Naughty Dog, or Punisher IP, and blow it up to the levels of Spider-Man, I think Disney will be all about it, even though it's only available on PlayStation. Because at that point, the game is so successful, that's what it speaks for itself, right? I mean, look at Avengers. Avengers is a multi-plat, and I don't think he achieved the success of Spider-Man. So it's really more about the success of the game rather than just the availability of the game. Sure, a higher availability of the game can lead to more success because you have more platforms to sell to. That's the logic. But I always said, at the end of the day, the game has to be good. If you release a good game, it's going to sell, whether it's on a single platform or multi-platform, right? And for the game to be good, it has to be in the hands of the right developer who has the right vision for what they want with that game. That statements will always be true, right? So if you got Naughty Dog ready to make a Punisher game or Ghost Rider game, but it's going to be exclusive to PlayStation, or you could say, nah, we're going to give this game Ghost Rider, but then you have your choices of, can Ubisoft make it successful? Can Activision make it successful? Well, we already know what Activision does with the superhero games. Spider-Man wasn't really overall that successful. Maybe they had onesie or twosies, like Spider-Man on the PlayStation 2. I think it sold like 4 million. It was pretty good. You know, things like that. They had their little spurts. But they never brought Spider-Man to this blockbuster level like Insomniac did. So sometimes the right game with the right developer, right, can really blow up, right? So a Naughty Dog game, who's known to make visceral games, with Punisher, that could be huge, you know. So I would also love to see that. And Naughty Dog's in a position to at least try to get that train rolling, right? He's a co-president of Naughty Dog. Have a conversation with Jim Ryan. They connect with Marvel Games, see what's going on. So who knows? Hey, we could only wish for the best, right? All right. So what's next? I think we're gonna talk about this. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna talk about this. Boom. Oh no, right here. Oh, I'm sorry. This is what we're gonna talk about. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. All right, we're gonna talk about this. All right. So we all know we've seen over the last 24 hours or so, the Megaton that got dropped. All right. Originally, Microsoft announced a price hike for Xbox Live Gold, right? Originally, they announced that Xbox Live Gold will have a 6 months increment of $59.99, $60. So effectively, a year of gold would be $120, which is literally 100% increase of what it was previously. Over that, which is absolutely insane. I mean, if they would have did $60 to $70, I mean, people still complain, but usually inflation, increase in pay, things like that, maybe adding more services and stuff like that, you could see that the service is gonna go up little by little, right? I mean, Netflix went up like $10 recently. Disney Plus will soon have a price hike, but small increment. What they did was literally double. They literally doubled. They literally doubled this. I don't know how else to say it. 100% increase. And what's crazy is they have not put a lot of effort into gold. If you notice, pretty much all throughout 2020, their games for gold was trash. It was really bad. And everybody knows why. It's because it's about Game Pass. So the focus is to get the best games that they can get into Game Pass, right? Let me pause my talk for the super chat. CB3, thank you for the super chat. He says, if Neil does the Punisher, he better not pull a Last of Us 2 ending where the Punisher doesn't kill the main villain, but instead let him go at the end. That's different. That's different, because that's different. I know a lot of people have an issue with the ending it's just it's hard to explain. That's a podcast in itself, the conversation. But Punisher's different. Punisher, the only way to end a Punisher game is for him to actually kill people. He doesn't let nobody go. That's just, and I don't think Naughty Dog will do that. Not to that character. Like it's him killing people. The bad guy is his whole purpose. That's his sole purpose. He does that. So where was I back at? Oh yeah. So the price hike, $120. As soon as Microsoft announced that $120 price hike, huge backlash going on. But of course, huge damage control. Like clockwork, I was not surprised seeing a lot of Xbox guys damage controlling it. That doesn't surprise me. It is what it is. So it's irrelevant for them, right? But a lot of huge backlash, right? And then I was one of the first ones to start mentioning free-to-play, right? Because the free-to-play at the time was locked behind a paywall. So I'm like, holy cow. Now you got Call of Duty World at War. Now you got Fortnite. $120 a year to play Fortnite. Warzone, Apex Legends, Warframe. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, right? What's crazy is as soon as I started tweeting that, and I'm not saying it's any correlation. It just so happens to be a coincidence more than anything else. The official Call of Duty news Twitter, the official Apex Legends news Twitter, they started pushing, breaking down PC free, PS4, PS5 free, Xbox 120 per year. So when you have the official news houses, so some of the biggest games out there saying, yo, this is crazy, right? Because when you look at it, the company said we want these gamers to have access to our games for free, right? Because they expect to make their money through their in-game microtransaction. So that's why they give it to us as a free-to-play. So that way it is the most accessible games possible, not just by platform, but by age range, right? Because even a 10-year-old could go in and download Call of Duty Warzone or Apex Legends, whatever, and play the game. Because it's at no cost, no credit card needed, nothing like that, right? But Xbox kind of put that barrier, right? I think the third parties who made these free to games, they're like, oh, okay, $60 not too bad. They didn't think much of it. But once Microsoft bumped it up to $120, now you're messing with their vision. Their vision is free to play. It's accessible to everybody. But now you're putting up a $120 wall. So you started seeing these official news for these free to play games calling it out. Once I saw that, I did my tweet and I'd be like, you know what? This right here is probably what's going to make it free to play. And I put it right here, right? The price hike and negative news might lead to Xbox finally making free to play actually free. I saw that coming. Because once now you got the official news for these free to play games, and they're huge, and they're saying and pointing it out. Not only that, that's a little bit console warish, but I'm pretty sure they don't give a damn. They're showing to the gamers PC free, PlayStation free, Xbox 120. So they're doing it, right? This backlash forced Microsoft fans, because I truly believe Microsoft had no intention of removing free-to-play from the paywall. They had no intention, but they had no choice. It was non-optionable, right? The idea was absolutely stupid in every way. Absolutely every way. So this is where you want to hit the like button, because you're going to get a lot of truth right now. You're going to get a lot of truth from me at this point, okay? Because it needs to be said. Give me a second. Let me get some my 0-calorie water up in here, all right? It's going to be interesting. All right. Here we go. Hit that like button. It is clear. Well, before I move on. So they got this backlash. Microsoft retracted on everything now. So they're no longer doing a price hike. Gold will remain at $60. And now free to play is no longer part of the paywall. So now you don't need Xbox Live Gold to play free to play. So they made the right decision, not on the merit that they knew what they're doing, but on the merit of the backlash. The one thing I do give Microsoft credit for is they responded a lot faster. Because the older Microsoft, it would have took a month for them to finally realize they made a dumb decision. But now, they reacted much faster than ever before. I'm pretty sure they don't want a repeat of Xbox One. So they reacted very quickly. I think somebody said like within 12 hours. Yeah, they reacted that, okay? So the cost rising is gone, and now free to play is truly free to play, right? My point in all this, and this is the conversation we had, how come they are so dumb that they didn't see this coming? This is why I will not get an Xbox this generation, right? My platform is going to be PC. I cannot trust Microsoft because, in my opinion, this company does not have a deliberate plan. They don't have an actual strategy. They're just taking shit and throwing it on a wall and see what reacts, what don't react, and then they just adapt to it. They don't have a strategy. This proves to me they don't have a strategy. Because I don't know how it's possible that this group of people are in a room and they honestly thought doubling the price of Xbox Live Gold was a good idea. I don't know how they can actually think this. I don't know. Xbox Live Gold has been trash all throughout 2020, right? A shit ton of tweets from the Xbox Live, help account talking about Xbox Live got down. Oh, we're having this, we're having that. And then the games for Gold, pretty much the whole year was trash. Gold didn't really advance. There's not much advancement to Gold because they've been focusing on Game Pass. Everything's been all about Game Pass. So Gold, they haven't done much. In fact, I say they downgraded it because they took what would normally be some games that are really good. They pushed it all over to Game Pass. They're giving scraps to Gold. So it hasn't been really something to brag about all year long. What makes you think doubling the price? It did nothing to value double the price. To go from $60 to $120 with no growth. Nothing. There's nothing to it. It didn't make sense. And what the hell they did it? And I see in the chat they didn't test the waters. No. I understand what you're saying, but no. That you don't test the waters when you see nothing but sharks swimming around you. Dude, who does that? Who tests the waters full of sharks? It's not hard. It's not hard. This is not hard. You got Craig and the Halo Infinite disasters, and then they come back and do this. It's as if somebody in Microsoft hates Xbox. Somebody has to hate Xbox, and they work for them. And they're doing their best to shut that thing down. There's got to be a hidden double agent. Something. There's got to be something. Something is wrong there. Right? Something is very wrong. Because it just doesn't make sense. Who honestly, truly believes doubling the price of Gold was even an average idea? Not even the best idea or good idea. Just average. Just something to even put out there. If I was working for them, I'd be like, no. Like, we did nothing with Gold. We made no growth, no advancements to Gold. The reception of the games for Gold, month over month, have been, at best, lukewarm. At best. And now we're going to tell these guys, and it's going to cost you $120? Now, I understand the logic you're trying to do. They're trying to say, no, the real intention is we're going to purposely make Gold look like trash because then they're going to go to Game Pass and see the value in Game Pass. That's it. That's really what they tried to do. That was a strategy. I guarantee that was a strategy in the table. In the round table, they thought, hey guys, I got a great idea. Let's make Gold look like trash so we can convert the people over to Game Pass. At no point did these Microsoft dudes, these Xbox dudes, thought, how about if the gamer sees if Gold looks trash, then Xbox looks trash? How about that? They didn't think of that possibility, right? All right. When you have a strategy, right, you got to do what's called course of actions, right? Strategy 1, this, right? And then you look at the benefits of this. But you have to be honest at the negative consequence. I don't think they do that. I don't think they look at any negative consequence. I think they just be like, hey, do this and it's going to be great. And nobody sits there and be like, but have we considered these negative outcomes? Blah, 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 and list it down. No, they don't do that. I guarantee at no point did they ever think that the game was going to be like, Gold looks trash, therefore Xbox looks trash, so I'm not going to stay on Xbox. And stop right there. Microsoft, listen, if anybody at Microsoft listening, stop listening to these hardcore fanboys. You really need to stop listening to these hardcore Xbox fanboys. I understand they're dedicated and they buy onesies, and they have your picture on the wall, and some of them consider that you guys are their best friends, They say happy birthday to you. They have your birthday on their calendar. They got Phil Spencer, sitting in a chair smoking a cigar. They make, they all do this weird shit, all right? Microsoft, you got these dudes. You don't have to do any more. You don't even have to release games, and they will still love you for it. They have issues, okay? You really got to look at the normal population of the gaming, right? You got to look at it from their angle. There's a lot of gamers that don't want Game Pass. Not because it's a good service or bad service. It's because many gamers have a particular taste in games, and they're simply not on Game Pass. You're not going to get the new Call of Duty day one on Game Pass, right? You don't need Game Pass for Fortnite. You don't need Game Pass for Apex Legends. The next Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, that's not day one on Game Pass. Madden, day one, and stuff like that. A lot of games are not day one on Game Pass. And a lot of these games are the games gamers are attracted to, right? And many of them play it on Xbox because of their friends, for whatever reason, right? But that's what they want to do, right? Sure, you could bring up, oh my God, but you got day one Microsoft games, or whatever. They might be like, that's cool. Don't really care about Halo or stuff like that. Or if I do care about Halo, I just buy it once for $60. I'm not going to spend $180 when all I really care about is Halo. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. Because think about it. It's $15 a month for Game Pass, so it's really $180 a year. So sure, you could say $180 a year. But out of that $180, if the only game in that group that you care about is Halo or Gears, right? That's only a $60 purchase one time, right? And then the rest of the games that you spend time is not on Game Pass day one. You're not going to get Call of Duty day one on Game Pass, right? You don't need Game Pass for Fortnite, Warzone, Apex Legend. You don't need that, right? And then when the next Grand Theft Auto comes out, Grand Theft Auto 6, that's not going to be on Game Pass. So you're going to be spending $60, $70 anyway. So a lot of these gamers, all they want is the games they know they're going to buy Halo, because that's really all they're going to buy, and then give them gold for $60 a year. So they can play the multiplayer. And that's it. They're happy. And they're cool with Xbox in their fashion. Microsoft did not consider these guys. They're trying to force Game Pass onto these guys. And what they don't realize is, majority of the games they play, they don't need Xbox. They could instantly see, like, you know what? I don't need to go through this shit to play the games I want when the majority of the games is on PlayStation 2. Sure, they choose to play it on Xbox because it's available and cool. But you push their buttons too far. They can be like, you know what? Screw this. Enough is enough. You're not going to force them to do something they don't want to do. Right? And people say, oh, it's big value, big value. Not if you don't play most of the games on the list. Right? If most of the games you play is not on Game Pass, then there is no value. All right? Okay? Right? There's a lot of games that are top selling games not on Game Pass. And a lot of gamers buy those day one. And they're going to cost $60 to $70. So how does Game Pass help those gamers? It doesn't. So that's why a lot of people don't care about Game Pass. Because majority of games is not something they care, right? Maybe some of the games, after a year or two, will show up on Game Pass. But a lot of gamers ain't going to wait a year or two. Especially when they don't buy a lot of games. And the ones they do, they want it day one. Game Pass is not useful for that. It's not a useful thing for them, right? Now, of course, the big counter is, but you get all Microsoft first-party games day one. Well, Microsoft has not established a great reputation as a first-party provider. Sure, they're trying to improve with the purchase of Bethesda, but for the most part, Microsoft first-party sucks. Let's call it a spade a spade. That's why most people don't play their games. That's why games like Halo fell off. Remember 360 days? Halo was top tier. Halo 3 multiplayer, Halo Reach multiplayer was top tier. Gears 3 multiplayer, top tier. These were top tier games. Everybody knew about it. It was the creme de la creme. It was among the best games of the generation. No one really cares about Halo 5. And you can say, oh, part of that's your opinion. No, you just type in, go to Google, type in Xbox Live Most Played, and hit the first link. Microsoft tracks what the gamers are playing. The data doesn't lie. So I don't want to hear this personal opinion shit. I got data to back it up. Microsoft literally shows you what Xbox gamers are playing. And Halo 5 ain't among the top games. Not even close. It's bottomed out. Gears is bottomed out. They just don't care about these games. These games don't have the luster it used to have. Microsoft first party, not a top 10 developer. Top 10 publisher. They're just not. They lost a lot of clout as a publisher. Clout that they had during the OG Xbox and especially during 360. They built a lot of clout and reputation of being a publisher. They ruined it. So when they say, oh, you get Microsoft games day one on Game Pass, it's like, okay, so what? They suck as a publisher. And not even the hardcore fanboys know it. Don't lie and pretend like you don't know it. Yeah, you do. You know Microsoft's publisher sucks. That's why it is important, absolutely important, that Bethesda games do not go to PlayStation. You know it. And I agree, most likely won't. I think it's going to be strictly, Xbox and PC. But you guys know it cannot. Microsoft cannot allow Bethesda games to go on PlayStation. Because that is really the one developer that actually can make games to at least contend and go up toe-to-toe with some of PlayStation's best. You need Bethesda. You need Fallout to not be available on PlayStation. You need the next Elder Scrolls to not be on PlayStation. You absolutely got to have, it's absolutely a must that these games do not go to PlayStation. Because if Microsoft decides to treat Bethesda no different than Minecraft, it's a wrap. Because you won't have titles to go against again. 343 Coalition aren't doing the job. They're not doing the job. Right? Hopefully with Ninja Theory, with a bigger budget and better support, I think they're going to be a great big studio. I have a feeling, right? I have a feeling they're going to be great, right? And I think, outside of Bethesda, I think I keep saying Naughty Dog, Ninja Theory will outclass, Coalition, 343, Playgrounds, Turn 10. I think they're going to outclass them all. I think Ninja Theory, especially with a bigger budget and stuff like that, I think they're going to be great, right? So really, Microsoft's publishing is in the hands of Bethesda and Ninja Theory. Bethesda makes their games still for PlayStation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then the battle or the conversation is better word, of PlayStation publishing versus Microsoft Xbox publishing, is null and void if Bethesda doesn't keep the games exclusive to, at a minimum, Xbox consoles and PC. It will be really hard to argue that. And the Xbox community knows that. Even the hardcore Xbox fanboys know. You mentioned Bethesda games are still going to be on PlayStation, they flip the hell out. Because they know. They know before the Bethesda purchase, Microsoft as a publisher is trash. Really, people don't care about their games anymore. They lost that stature. They lost it a long time ago. They're just not good. No one trusts them. Every time they mention a game, people don't trust them. And more often than not, when it comes out, you're like, oh, we knew it. Trash. They may have a few gems here and there, right? Like Ori and Ori and the Willow of the Wisp. You know what I'm talking about. Not Lisp. Right? And that's the thing. And with all this downgraded, what makes Microsoft think they could pull the things they think they could, right? Come on now. Stop this trash, right? So I'm going to lead into this to, now that Microsoft corrected themselves, which I still don't trust. I don't trust them. And because I don't trust them, I'm not going to invest in their consoles no more. I really am so grateful that they gave me a way out. That they gave me a way out by now putting PC now as a consideration, and I'm going PC because there's just so much more with PC. And I'm not talking about power. I'm not a power guy, right? I'm not a power guy, right? But what I am is a content guy. I like content, right? So it's not like I'm going to miss out if Microsoft does so happen to make a great game. I'm not going to miss out. Because if they make a great game, most likely from Bethesda and Ninja Theory, I'm going to play it. And that's it. And I'm going to enjoy it, right? But what I do like is also the thought of PC VR. Half-Life Alyx looks amazing. I definitely want to play that. And there's going to be other games that are PC exclusives or games not on PlayStation. And I'll have access to all of it. Okay? The only other thing I'm waiting for is for a Switch 4K edition, more powerful Switch. Because I'm not really into handhelds and small screen. That's why I haven't got a Switch. And from what I hear, playing the Switch on a 4K TV looks absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I'm just hoping Nintendo, does something, right? Creates a more powerful Switch that's, compatible with 4K TVs just to look good. And I'll play them. And then I'm good. PC, Nintendo, PlayStation, phenomenal experience. Phenomenal next gen. And I can't wait, right? But let me carry on to this nonsense. And this is what's funny. And somebody mentioned in chat about the $70 games. This is what's funny. This is right. Listen, if you listen to Xbox community, that's your fault. I don't know what to tell you. That's your issue, not mine. I ain't dealing with these dudes, except for my boys like Z, Post Up. I love them. They're my brothers, right? And I just shoot the shit. It's family stuff. But everybody else, whatever. I ain't listening to it because y'all don't make sense. Like, these dudes, they coming out of that. These dudes defend Microsoft so much for nothing that they'll bring up anything. They'll play it on anything. They'll use anything. Now they're back on the $70 price hike. Oh, when you gonna fight Sony now for $70? And I'm like, bruh, you out here playing Call of Duty and you pay $70. Like, look at this. These are some of the highest selling games for next gen consoles. And these are on the Xbox store. They're $70. And they bought them. I seen tweets from the dudes. Oh, when you gonna talk about Sony's $70 price hike? And I'm like, dude, you talked about Valhalla day one, and that game was $70. These dudes talked about Watch Dogs Legions day one, and the game is 4K 30, not even 60, and they pay $70. You guys pay $70 for these games. It doesn't work that way. And their excuse is, oh, well, no, the third party, no, we're not talking third party. We're just talking first party because the Xbox first party is $60. Yeah, $60. The Xbox first party is not even worth $10. Did we not just discuss Microsoft publishing games suck? They're trash. Have we not covered that already? PlayStation, they be making some of the best games of the generation. And they actually put quality into theirs. They rival some of the best third-party games out there. If there's any first-party that can rival Rockstar, they're not going to mention Microsoft. Even with Bethesda. You still will not put Microsoft Publishing to go toe-to-toe with Rockstar. Not even close. It's Sony at this point that will go toe-to-toe with Rockstar. From a first-party publisher, right? Nintendo, maybe it was Zelda, right? Like, definitely, no one would even dare say, oh, Microsoft's publishing can go to toe-to-toe with Rockstar. Hell no, no one's going to even entertain that stupid conversation, even with Bethesda tied to them. That ain't happening, So I ain't comparing Microsoft first party versus, well, get out of here. And the people doing this, you don't even play Microsoft's games. You don't even beat their games. We already seen the stats. You don't like their games. So stop it. Stop with this nonsense. You don't like Microsoft publishing games. I honestly don't know what you guys like. Because you don't beat games. We already established that. That's already certified. We already seen the data. The Xbox One gen came to a close. We saw the trophy, or what games beat. The data's been pulled up. Y'all been exposed. There's literally There's no conversation or debate needed. It's done. It's no different than President Biden is not the president. The whole cheated and election votes for it's done. We're not entertaining nonsense. Okay, we know the truth, right? So you got this crazy stuff from gamers arguing about a $70 price hike while they're paying $70 games. And no, Game Pass can't help you here. And these are some of the most played and bought games of the gen. On top of Valhalla. On top of Watch Dogs Legions. You think these dudes, when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out for $70, they're not going to buy it? You think they're going to stand their ground on $70 gaming? Because Grand Theft Auto 6 will not be on Game Pass day one. Nope. It ain't happening. It's not going to get a price drop that quick. So you're going to be waiting a long time to see a price drop on Grand Theft Auto 6. And it's going to be $70. Do you really think these dudes aren't going to play Grand Theft Auto? Who honestly believe they're bullshit? By all means, if you truly believe in them. Who believe? Hit 1 if you believe. Hit 2 like hell no. They're a bunch of lying frauds. Come on, stop it. Stop the nonsense. Alright? You cannot compare. And here's the crazy part, right? This is where it's insane. The $60 price hike happened in 2005 when next gen began with the 360 PS3, right? So this is a 2005 price point. Now fast forward to 16 years. These dudes, day in, day out, made it a point to talk about VRS. Now VRS Tier 2. Mesh shaders. RDNA 2. All this crazy stuff to bring the very best in their games. And they don't expect that the cost of games is going to go up. How? How do you expect some of the most investments in game development, yet they're still going to make the game at the same price of 16 years ago, which didn't even use a fraction of the tech that they have now? We got $399, $499 consoles with real ray tracing. Some at 60 frames. Ray tracing at 60 frames. Look at PlayStation 5. For $399, you could get 60 frames with ray tracing. For $399. Yo, you don't have to order individual parts. You don't have to put it together. It all comes complete in one box. It's easy to update because the company does it for itself. And you just pay $399 and you'll be playing games with some of them with ray tracing at 60 frames for $399 because of the latest technology. And you guys really don't think these games are going to go up in price by a little bit. It was like an 11.5% price increase, $60 to $70. And they do this to defend Microsoft's decision, doubling their price, going from 60 to 120. It doesn't make sense. Especially from the people that all year long, that's all y'all did. Because y'all really didn't talk about actual games. You didn't talk about Game of the Year compelling games. You didn't talk about the games that are some of the best games that came out in 2020. No, y'all talked about freaking tech. You talked about tech and GitHub all year long. All year long. It was all about the tech. All about the power. 40%. The Delta. Oh my God, it was disgusting. This shit had me throwing up listening to this shit. All year long. Like, oh my God, you just couldn't get away from the shit. Right? You had dudes that don't play games now all of a sudden are developers. And they know everything about the game. And they knew everybody out there. Right? They knew everybody. Oh, Hidden Source. Carlos Crespin. Thank you for the super chat. Blank person is a clown. I'm not going to say his name live on here because I know he's a good dude. Right? He's a good friend. But y'all can read the super chat. And then Gamer Boy. You think MS will stop making consoles and just do software? They're going to keep making consoles. Everybody. Well, this applies to everybody. They're going to keep making consoles until consoles become irrelevant. And it doesn't really matter who it is. Right? That's just nature of the business. when consoles don't become a necessary component to gaming, then they're going to stop making it. So consoles will only be as relevant as the need from the consumer, right? If the mass, as they offer games in different ways to play, let's say streaming, right? Or an app on a TV. If more and more people are doing it that way, and more people adopt saying, I don't really need to buy a $500 console. It's already on my TV. I'm just going to play it that way, and the experience is enjoyable and acceptable, then yes, consoles will go away across the board. So it's going to be the pulse, right? But if a console, let's say like PlayStation, if Sony still sells 100 million or more consoles every single gen, they're not going to get rid of their consoles because it sells too much. The consumer keeps showing this is what they want. And as long as the sales show, that's it, right? But back to what I was saying. This battle of the $70 price hike versus what Microsoft did is nowhere near comparable. Not even close. 100% price hike on a service that did nothing, and arguably you could say it was actually worse in 2020 versus games that now adopting some of the advanced technologies that these same dudes, that's all they talk about. It's so bad that they make fun of games that run dynamic 4K. Dynamic 4K is something to laugh at. And these are the same dudes that want the games to stay at 60. They want ray tracing without the 60 frame hits. Oh, you gotta give me a 60 frame option. And I want ray tracing. But yet they want the game to stay at $60. That makes no sense, right? Shout out to my boy Kid Smooth, right? He made a tweet. Let me look at it. Let me see. So I don't paraphrase. Shout out to Kid Smooth. That's my boy. I love his content. Lately he seemed down. I hope he, but he does some funny stuff, man. That's why I love watching his stuff. Because it's funny. His stuff is funny. Kid Smooth content is just funny, right? So he made a tweet. He says, reminder, PSN used to be free, but I don't see nobody protesting. Right? That was his comment on Twitter. Reminder, PSN used to be free, but I don't see nobody protesting. Right? That's how bad they're going to defend Microsoft. Why he forgot, right? How many of you were around during the PS3 360 era? Type 1 if you were around and gamed heavily during that era. Right? So I can have a pulse on how many people can get the point what I'm about to say. Right? Just hit the 1. Just go in the chat, type 1. Or if you haven't, then type 2. Right? But if you were heavily playing games in 360 PS3 era, type 1. If you haven't, type 2. Right? And I'm going to tell you why. For those of you type of 1s, then you know, just as I do, that when PSN was free, it was ridiculed, and majority of the gamers, and even I said it, was not good. Some people even called it trash. And that PlayStation needs to be like Xbox Live. That Xbox Live is the much better service, and PSN is trash. And then you had the big hack of 2011, right? We all agree. I'm not making this up. Everybody said PSN needs to be like Xbox Live, right? I knew PSN was not up to snuff to Xbox Live, not even close. But I also knew it's free. So what do you expect? Xbox Live, you have to pay for it. So you're going to get a better service that you're paying for. So of course Xbox Live is going to be better. PSN's not going to be better because it's free. But everybody was not trying to hear that. Hey, going forward, it needs to be better. It needs to be better. It needs to be better. So he said, fine. We're going to make it better. We're going to rival it. We're going to do things. Some people feel PSN is better than Xbox Live now, especially with the PSN free games and stuff, right? But since you want it to be like Xbox Live, it's going to cost like Xbox Live. So that's what we got. Yo, y'all dudes are crazy. You got what you wanted. You wanted PSN to be like Xbox Live, so it's like Xbox Live. Ever heard the phrase, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it? Well, you got it. Now people want to complain. You got what you wanted. And it worked. Because PSN is much better than it was on the PS3 in every way. It's much more responsive, much more faster, easier to connect Bluetooth items, right? Party chat, you got it all, up to 12 people. Now you could control it. Friends listings, the whole shebang. Cloud saves, it's all up in there, right? Much better. PSN store, much responsive, much faster. It's, right? And what they really did good was the games per month that they give away. Much better quality games. A lot of people are surprised at some of the games Sony was able to get as part of their PSN Plus subscriptions. And some games were day one, right? You know, I mean, granted, they weren't like super big games like Bug Snack or whatever, but it's still surprising to get those games for free when originally they were touted as $70 games. You see what I'm saying? You got what you asked for. Now that you got it, now you're complaining that it's not free. Well, PSN free is not that good. And nobody really wanted it. They wanted it to be like Xbox Live, to compete with Xbox Live, to raise the standards. So, okay. There you go. Hey, I don't understand gamers who want the most and the very best, but want it for free. You guys are insane. You got gamers who think like that. You want the most technology. You want consoles to rival 3090s for $399. You want the very best in game technology at the price of games that were back in 2005. And you want the best service to rival another paid service, but without being a paid service in itself. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I don't know, dog. I don't know. That it is what it is, right? It's crazy, right? How we look at gaming and how we talk about gaming and stuff like that. That's why I was trying to see. That's why for this gen, going forward on my channel and stuff like that, I'm starting to realize that there's a lot of people that are just full of trash. They're BS. They don't inherently really believe in the stuff they talk about on podcasts, on Twitter. It's all fake. And I don't understand why, right? I got 99 likes. Can I get 100 likes? Somebody hit the like button. Let's get this into triple digits, please. Right? The stuff that I say, right? A lot of stuff, right? Especially when it comes to the games I play, whatever. It's because that's how my purchasing and decision for the stuff like that, right? Like, for example, when PlayStation unveiled the PSVR, I didn't jump up and be like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. If you've been around on my channel, you saw I was very skeptical about PSVR, and I gave my skepticism behind PSVR, right? Plenty of talks about that, right? Because my decision to buy it, I wasn't all into it. I'm like, $500, not a lot of games. I already been down this road where I invested in an aftermarket peripheral and it just completely bombed because it got no games. I already been through that road. I've been through that road plenty of times, right? So I was not all in on PSVR simply because it was made by Sony and PlayStation. I'm like, nah, I waited. Once it dropped down to like $250 is when I bought it, I think. And I saw a lot of games. Some of them were quality, highly rated, like Moss, Astrobot, Blood and Truth. That's why I saw these games. I'm like, wait a minute. They're really making some really great games now. There's a nice library of great games. And PSVR is $250. I think I bought it for $200 actually. I forgot. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. It's crazy. I'm like, okay. Now I could try it. You know? It is what it is, you know? But a lot of conversations is based off what I would do. Like me, everybody knows I didn't buy the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X. I could have bought a Pro. It was only $399. It was only $399. It wasn't a lot of money. Even Xbox One X, it's fine. You saw I bought the PlayStation 5 day one. Money is not the issue, right? But if I don't believe in something, if I don't see something that has value, I'm not simply gonna buy it to support my YouTube channel or to say I'm Team Sony. I don't care about that. What I want out of these products comes first before anything else, right? And I think every gamer should be like that. Buy the stuff you want because that's what you want out of the content in the product. Not because of any other reason. Not because you want to look good in front of your internet friends, or you want to be part of a community that you don't want to be kicked out and be like, oh, you can't go home because you didn't buy Crackdown or any weird shit like that. That's just weird. That's just weird. A lot of shit is just weird, right? So most of the things I do is because that's how I see it when it comes to what I'm going to put my money down. You know? Over the last year, how many Xbox dudes promised what Xbox Series X is going to do, and people believed them and bought the console day one, only to not get what was promised after months, right? Dudes got screwed over, and now they're stuck with their decision that they have to now make up other reasons to justify their own purchase, which I don't really care. You don't have to, in my opinion, these dudes don't have to justify anything to any of us. Like, we're just really random strangers among the community. We really don't hold any weight on what other people buy or don't buy. Like, you don't have to tell me and justify your purchase. That has nothing to do with me. I didn't buy it. You didn't use my credit card or debit card or my bank account to buy it. You use your money. You live with your decision. If you're not happy, you don't have to convince me that you're happy. I don't really care if you're happy. If you're happy, good for you. You don't have to try to convince me. I didn't buy it. You don't have to go to my DMs and now come up with a list of new reasons why you bought an Xbox Series X. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to tell me the reasons why you bought an Xbox Series X. You don't have to tell anybody. Same thing with PlayStation or PC. You just bought it and you live with it. It's your money, your time, your decision. Just live with it. You ain't got to convince nobody else. You ain't got to do anything, right? It has nothing to do with me. I don't pay your bills. I have nothing to do. All of us in the chat, none of us have anything to do with each other's purchases. You buy what you buy and you get it. That's it. Ain't got nothing to do with any of us. Trust me, you don't have to prove to me anything. As long as you're happy, that's it. If you're not happy, then do something about it. I can't do it for you. And you shouldn't have to lie. You don't have to lie. It's a consumer product. You could sell it to somebody else. I'm pretty sure somebody else will buy it. If you don't like, for example, if you don't like your PS5, then don't keep the shit. Sell it. I guarantee somebody will buy it. Somebody will buy it. Somebody will even spend more money than what you bought it. You can make money off it. If you don't like it, you don't have to convince nobody. You just don't like it, so sell it. And buy what you really like. If it's Ouya, then play Ouya. It's just, this stuff is weird. That's some of the stuff, right? A lot of these dudes, right, especially on the other side of the house, they fake like their product, and you can see it. Because they don't beat the games. Like, how can a community that now is all about Ninja Theory, and when you look up Hellblade, it's like at 13% beat. Like the achievement that shows you beat the game, only 13% of the people who played it beat it. Yet you look at it on PlayStation, it's at 41%. So how can you be a community that is so happy about Microsoft purchasing Ninja Theory, yet you don't play their games? You don't like their games. That's the fake. That's just being fake. You're really not telling Microsoft what you really want. You're just faking it. You really don't like their games. I like their games. You can see in my PSN profile that I beat their games. I even beat the other games like Odyssey to the West, whatever. Heavenly Sword. I like their games. I even beat DMC. I like Ninja Theory. And it's proven. I beat their games. I beat their games. Trust me. If I don't like a game, like me, I don't like Killzone. I don't like Gran Turismo. So I'm not going to hype those games as the best things ever. It's just not going to happen. I don't like their game. I don't like Killzone. I like Killzone 2. I don't like the franchise overall. It's not a good franchise. It's just not. And and what's funny is I beat Killzone 1, 2, and 3. Right? I beat the games, right? And I played a lot of Killzone 2 multiplayer. But Shadowfall, I couldn't beat the game. I just couldn't. I just couldn't stand the game. I couldn't. It's terrible. It's a terrible game. Graphically, it looks nice, but it's a terrible game. And overall, Killzone's a terrible franchise. So I'm not hyping that. If Guerrilla announced a new Killzone, I'm going to be like, oh my God. I'm going to be honest. I didn't do it. Right? But the Killzone website is shut down. It's gone. Right? I'm going to be honest. I made a note saying, hey, shut down, maybe the new IP, whatever. And I didn't do a live stream. But I'm going to be honest. When I saw that, I was actually happy. I ain't going to lie. I was happy that that shit is done. I hope, I'm going to be honest. I'm glad that that website is shut the hell down. I hope they never go back to that trash again. Like, move the hell on. I am so glad, and I'm hoping that Killzone is dead. You know, I know some of you might be pissed off, but boy, oh boy, I am so glad that it looks like Guerrilla will no longer waste any resources on the Killzone game ever again. That IP is dead. Dead. D-E-D. Dead. I am so happy that when I saw the announcement of the website down, I'm like, I looked at it. No, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw my phone and I saw the news and that thing said website down, I was like, oh, thank God it's over. The nightmare's over. Guerrilla can now move on and grow to something else. And I know that's going to piss off a lot of PlayStation dudes. I don't care. I'm like Steve Smith. I'm going to tell you why. I don't care. Y'all could be mad. I don't care. It's dead. The dead. Reference from Spawn the movie. You know? Another super chat from Ohiyako Rumi. I apologize about your name. Ohai or Ohi? I apologize. Alright? But he said, I have a question. Why do the Xbox guys continuously to become oblivious to what Xbox does? So why are Xbox guys oblivious to what Xbox does? That's an easy answer. It's called slavery. Right? Stockholm Syndrome. They refuse to go against the grain because I seen it. Because in their mind, Xbox is intertwined to their life. It's like talking to a kid. You ever talk shit about Xbox console? They go after you. They'll bring up your personal life. They'll bring up a whole bunch of shit as if you were talking about their spouse or their kids. You understand what I'm saying? It's personal. It's really, really personal to them. It's really, really personal. Even when you don't talk about Xbox, they'll find a way to make it seem like you're talking about Xbox. And they'll go after you. They're really knee deep into this Xbox family thing. Which is crazy. They just don't see it. Nick, they got daddy issues. They're really intertwined into that ecosystem, right? Let me put it to you this way. There's many videos that I could show you. These dudes will really go on YouTube and call you out and say, you can't come back to the Xbox community. I better not catch you. You can't come home. They literally, imagine I go live on the air and maybe a PlayStation guy's not happy with PlayStation. And he says, you know what? I'm going to skip PlayStation and I'll probably get it in a couple of years or they talk, whatever. Imagine I go live on the air. I'll be like, hey, yo, so-and-so, I saw what you're doing PlayStation. You know what? You don't like it? Stay out of it. You better not come back. I better not see you now talking about PlayStation when Naughty Dog comes out with the new bangers. When God of War comes out, I better not see you playing it. Because I'm going to make a video on you. Don't come home. Mind your business. Stay on Nintendo, you punk. I better not catch you on PlayStation. You better not come home. Alright? Because we're going to be watching you. And all you other PlayStation fans, I better not see you talking to this dude. Because I'm going to watch you. Yeah, imagine if I did some weird shit like that. Hell no. Yo. Imagine I did some weird shit like that. Imagine my PlayStation dude, you know, dudes I talk with. Imagine if I go tell those dudes, if I see you rocking with this dude, I'm going to make a video on you. Because you can't come home. You can't be part of the nation. You can't be part of the nation. You can't do it. Alright? I'm going to watch you. I'm going to watch you. No, what? Yo, you bugging. Yo. 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 Oh, man. No. Yo. What? You don't like PlayStation? Then you stay the hell away, dog. I better not see your PSN ID pop up. If I see it pop up, I'm going to make a video on you and I'm going to call you out. All right? You ain't down when PlayStation's down, then you better not be there. Oh, my God, man. Like, yo, I'm not lying. And you think I'm lying. I'm not making this up. I'm not making any of this up. I'm not making this up. Now somebody put, Nine Light goes, well, you got this guy and he's worse. Well, guess what? I been blocked them years ago and I warned people about him. And people didn't want to listen to me. So, you know, you can only lead a water. You can only lead a water. You can only lead a horse to water. Right? So, trust me. A lot of PlayStation dudes that are crazy, I don't fuck with them. Simply because I'm playing. In fact, online, when you think about it, I know more Xbox guys I interacted than I do PlayStation guys. But the thing is, online, the Xbox guys I do interactive, they're cool. They're reasonable. They're not nutcases. They're not weirdos. You understand what I'm saying? You know? You know, they're not, you know, they're like Xbox, but they're cool. You know? But imagine if I did that. I don't do that. Hey, yo, better not catch you on that PlayStation. You stay the hell away. Don't be coming back when God of War. Don't be buying that God of War Ragnarok. Let me catch you. I'm going to come find you. Like, no. It doesn't make no sense. It's just weirdos. Yo, it's crazy. Well, he said, my two sons got into a fist fight. One plays PS4, the other Xbox. They go at it. Fist fights. Yo, it's crazy. Yo, and you probably sitting there like, you know what? I'm not even going to get involved. I'm going to just let them beat the shit out of each other. Right? And then, when they're done fighting, I'm going to be like, hey, you guys are grounded. Turn off your consoles. No more gaming for you. Right? It is what it is, right? I just don't know. I don't understand, right? I don't know, right? Some things just make sense. Some things don't make sense, right? Some things are obvious. Some things are not so obvious, right? Right? My man says, this is a war, pick a side. Listen. Right? One is in the attic. The other games is in the basement. He has to separate his... but I'm going to say this, right? For this jump going forward, for me, the platforms is PC, PS5, and the next Nintendo. And I hope they do something, right? I really don't like handhelds. I don't like portables. And I don't just say that because it's Nintendo. Because, again, if you've been around my channel for a while, I don't like Vita and PSP. I didn't like PlayStation portable handhelds either. I don't like handheld gaming. I'm really not a handheld gamer. I'm not really about small screen. I want my big TV with a nice sound, with a controller, and I just like to play in that environment. Once I leave my man cave, I'm not really about the portable gaming, streaming on a phone, all that. Buy a Samsung and buy this weird ass. Yo, they got this weird ass controller that's like this big and stuff. Like, nah, we ain't doing that. Nah, I just, you know, that's it. It's fine for other people. Nah. Okay. Not doing that, right? And that's it what it is, right? Okay. Nine Lives. I find that PlayStation podcast talk more about Xbox and PlayStation, then you're looking at the wrong podcast, right? If you want to look at channels, look at like Mystic, huge PlayStation channel, talks all PlayStation, right? But here's the funny, and in Nine Lives, I'm gonna say this: a lot of you Xbox dudes that say, "Oh, the PlayStation podcast only talks about Xbox," it's because those are the channels you look for. You really don't look for PlayStation channels. Let's be honest, you really don't, because there are PlayStation channels that are podcasts, normal users. We're not talking about GameSpot or those guys, like normal users that are bigger than the PlayStation podcast you actually look at. Like huge. 400,000 subscribers, 500,000 subscribers, and they talk nothing but PlayStation. But the thing is, you guys are really not about that life. You want to know why? Because those podcasts talk about games. Lots and lots of games. Across the spectrum. From indie games to Japanese games. You know, games that aren't popular, you know, that aren't well known. You know, not the average Call of Duty outside. They talk about just games across the board, and many of them are exclusives, but a lot of people don't know about it. When you do look at those channels, you get bored. You guys get bored of podcasts that talks nothing but games. So you go to the PlayStation podcast that talk about Xbox, because that excites you. You like to talk shit, so you can go in the chat and fight your battles. And talk your shit. Because that's entertaining. I'm not knocking you for it. Because getting in the chat, fighting that fight, talking that shit to dudes talking about the shit about the brand you like, that's fun, right? Going to somebody else's channel who's talking shit about Xbox and you out there doing that work. That's fun, right? Okay? But actually going to an actual PlayStation podcast, and I watch these podcasts, and that's how I see a lot of the games, right? And, you know, granted, they can be boring if you're looking for crumb side. They're not crumb side. But that's what I want. I want PlayStation podcasts that just talks about games, so I look at these podcasts, and they're great, right? So I sit there, watch, listen, I'm like, oh, cool, oh, man, I didn't know about this game. Man, you know, because there's a lot of games, you know. It's these type of podcasts where I found out about games like Lost Solar Side, which I'm waiting for years to play, right? But you guys really don't like that. You guys don't go to those channels because it's not entertaining. And you get bored. Because, again, you really don't want a podcast that only talks about games. It's boring for y'all guys. You want the drama. You admit it. You love this shit. So you're going to look for the channels. Even if there's only like 12 subscribers, you guys are going to go at that channel. You know what I'm saying? Lost Solar Side is lost in somewhere now, P-Rock. Man, the dude who does the Twitter account, he runs the game, he did say Happy New Year. And I'm like, bro, really? I mean, granted, Happy New Year to you, but bro, really? Like, can you say Happy New Year? We got some amazing news. Shortly after, stay tuned. Something, man. Like, this is terrible. Yo, this dude's killing me with Lost Solar Side. But let's be honest. Y'all like this shit. You know what? I'm going to test it one day. I'm even going to test you guys. I'm going to do a podcast where I strictly talk about games. Just try one episode. I guarantee I'll probably only get like 20 people on here. And like one like. You know what I'm saying? Right? But I will say this, right? Going forward, we're going to go back to the way the channel was. Talk the topics. And of course, if you remember all my podcasts, has always been, it's never been about the hive mind. I'm trying to get, you know, guests that are willing to have a different opinion. I want that. I want people with opposite opinions, different viewpoints, right? And to express their viewpoints, right? Because it's good to hear two sides of a particular news article. It's great to hear that counterpoint, right? That's really what makes growth. That's why hopefully we could grow as a community with just knowledge, right? It's once a week, but I'm gonna try. You know, I just need to go through this little period of heavy work schedule to really flesh it out. But you know, I think you guys will enjoy it, right? But with that, I hope you enjoyed this little live stream. All right, I'm gonna cut it off. I'll move on, play some games. Those who supported Super Chat, thank you so much. I hope I was able to answer your questions and your point. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. And, you know, and just get on there and keep it gaming, all right? Until then, your boy, Puerto Rock 77, your only friend in these YouTube streets. And I'm out of here, all right? It was good talking to you guys. You guys take care. Have a safe weekend. Be safe.